Hello everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of making an auger. Now you might notice some slight differences with the auger. I have in fact had to make a second one due to burning the tip off the first one, which is why this video was delayed by a week. So we had forged the blank in the previous video, so at this stage we need to create the cutting edge and the lead screw. So I will mark off the centre of the auger, and I will mark off a point 10mm wide, so 5mm either side of the centre, and I will mark off a line 10mm from the back of the cutting edge. I will cut along these lines in order to start forming the cutting edge and the lead screw. Now I am actually cutting a little bit further back than the outer limits of the cutting edge, as you can see here. I've cut back by maybe 6mm, and the reason for that is that I need to upset back the cutting edge. So let's get some heat in there, and I will quench off the material just below where I need to work in order to prevent any distortion happening on the screw thread further below. And using a set hammer I will start upsetting down and pushing back, or pushing forwards rather, the cutting edge. And the reason I'm doing this is that the angle isn't correct for a cutting edge. If I try and put a cutting edge on it without pushing it down like this, it'll just simply polish the wood. So those extended cuts I did in the material effectively give me almost like a flap which I can push down to create the correct cutting angle. So once that's done, I will give it a bit of straighten, because even quenching off you will end up with a little bit of distortion. Not purely doing that in the vise. And with that done, I will forge that little tab into a point, and this will become the lead screw. So I'm trying a bit of an experiment here for making the screw itself. I'm actually going to go in with a fuller on all four sides and twist it, and we will see if this actually helps with the creation of the screw. So the other way of doing this, which you may prefer after you've seen the finished lead screw, is to forge it to a cone shape by knocking off the corners. Equally, you could twist it without putting the fullers in and have a more even rounded shape. So I figured I'd give it a go this way just to see what happened. It would be a lot easier to do if my gas torch was up and running. However, I probably wouldn't have used the gas torch even if I did have it going at the moment, purely because I'm trying to use hand tools only for this. So at this stage, with the screw twisted, I will cut off the excess material on those right angles, because it needs to be in line with the cutting edge, as you can see it is here, and I will start filing the appropriate angle on the underside at a slight angle just below flat. So after that I will use the fullering marks as a guide and start cleaning up the twists to form the lead screw. Now, as you can see here, it worked reasonably well. the pitch is a little sharper than I would have liked. If I'd twisted a bit more, I would have been a bit happier with the result. However, as you'll see at the end of the video, it did work. So with the lead screw filed up, I will start shaping the inside of the cutting edge. And first off, I want the lead screw to be central. And as you can see, the rulers are very overrated. Who needs a ruler when you've got a needle file and a fingernail? The right hand side is a little wider than it needed to be, which is quite convenient because I need the outside edge of the cutting face to be at an even right angle. If you understand what I mean. I'm rambling a bit here. Do apologise. And I will just file the actual cutting edge on it. So at this stage I have a lovely new gas forge, which those of you who have liked my Facebook page will have seen arrive. So I like that, and I'm going to use this for heat treating the cutting edge. So I will turn it down to just under half a bar with pressure. I will just lay that in there in order to normalise it. So I will let it reach critical temperature and I will keep it there for 20 minutes. At that stage I will pull it out and hang it up to air cool. I'll repeat that process 3 times in order to normalise the grain of the steel. So, and I've also got my pot of oil preheating up to 70 centigrade, and that will just decrease the viscosity of the oil in order to wick away the heat from the steel at a faster rate. So I'm not water quenching because I don't want to put too much of a shock on the weld. Reheat the steel, leave it to soak for another 20 minutes and quench. And I've left a little bit of heat above the cutting edge, and I will let that bleed back into the cutting edge in order to temper it. So I'm not going to bother leaving it in a bath at 220 centigrade for a couple of hours like I would do with an axe or a knife, because this isn't an impact tool, so I'm quite happy to leave it a little bit harder than it otherwise would be. So next stage is to bang a handle in there. You don't need to see me making this, it's basically a piece of wood that's been roughly rounded. And as I said before on another video, the proof of the plum is in the pudding. So please bask in the glory of a handmade lead screw dragging the auger into a piece of oak. So I don't know who was more surprised that this actually worked, me or the lead screw. So it would have helped if I'd started drilling this particular hole anywhere other than on a knot. So here's the finished piece. I'm very happy with how the weld held together, especially considering how I upset the end and put a twist in the whole thing, as well as forging down the tab to create the lead screw. I haven't had a single bit of delamination on this one. Having been hardened, it holds an edge beautifully, so there's minimal decarburization on the steel plate. The lead screw could do with a shallower pitch, however this doesn't actually seem to have affected its final usage. So overall, quite happy with how this project went. A few things I'd do a bit differently. Next one I'll definitely make with a power hammer, but otherwise this was quite an interesting project for me, and I hope it was for you guys as well. So have a go, see what you come up with, change and mess around with the techniques I've used, and see what you guys come up with yourselves. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Here's my list of current Patreon donors. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm immensely grateful for all your help and support. And I'll see you all on the next one.